Well, good evening, everybody. It is the first installment of your Preston Coming Up coverage. What's going on in your world, everybody? Please make sure you're liking, commenting, and subscribing. I'm saying this on every show in case one of you misses it. Sign up to the Patreon for some bonus content. We've had loads of people sign up, actually. Shout out to Tim Bunce, the latest one to sign up to that. We've had a few others as well. Please make sure you're heading over there for some bonus bits as well. We've got Leeds Live Lounge coming up, Generation Leeds, and player ratings. If you're into all that stuff, as you can see on the screen as well, everybody, we are sponsored by the Job Match Group. Make sure you check it out, everybody. It's a brand new business which is trying to make a little bit of waves in the job search market because basically they tailor your specific job want and they match you with the need. They match you with that specific job. And it's so unique from F1 to football jobs to anything else. Make sure you check them out. And also the main sponsor on the channel going forward, you know where to go. It's Shop GNO launching on the 5th of May, everybody. Not only that, but first 50 registered users. I think we're coming up to the mark now where it is 50. So make sure you get involved in that. You're all in with a shot of winning 100 quid. Absolutely free. You will get a free sign up to a £25 worth membership. And also you're all involved in a raffle to win a signed Calvin Phillips shirt. You'd be mad not to do so. You can list shops on there. It's got better rates than Amazon, Vinted, and eBay. Make sure you head on over there, everybody. And also we're going to be bringing you match bingo in the next coming days, which is very, very exciting as we've partnered with them, everybody. So make sure you check those guys out on the watch along where we're going to be doing a bit of interactive bits with them. Okay. I wanted to do a little bit of an overview when it came to the tactical side of the game as well, which obviously we're going to be going into in the next coming days. And I think it's really important to look at this. We've got loads of bits to touch on when it comes to Leeds United. And I basically wanted to do this because we did it last week. You guys really enjoyed it. It's a different side to One Leeds. We used to do it a while ago. And we kind of moved away from it a little bit, but I know you guys do really, really enjoy it. So we're going to be bringing it back. And yeah, you guys, if you do, as I say, slap a like on the video. It just gives me a bit of an indication that you're enjoying it, basically. So overview for this game. Preston don't lose a lot of games by big margins. They drew the other night to Cardiff, and I think Heckingbottom made a few mistakes in that game. Osmajic coming off, I think it was a bit of a negative change. It changed the flow of the game as well. Certain personnel not starting, of which I think is going to change for this one in terms of just ball players out from the back, just so Preston can actually keep hold of the ball for elements and they're able to pass it out from the back, hitting the front three and actually being able to counter-attack on Leeds. The specifics for this game are that Preston need legs. They need a lot of legs because they're going to be defending a lot in a low block. We hear that term all the time. If you guys aren't interested in what a low block means and all these fancy schmancy words, just the defensive stance throughout the whole game. 4-4-2, as we've heard before, Sean Dyche-esque. But no, it's not going to be that. It's going to be flat. It's going to be defensive, and it's going to be really difficult for Leeds United to break the lines, as it was in the first game. Taking you back to the first games between Leeds and Preston. Preston broke the lines really well throughout that entire game at Deepdale. Some key absentees from this one as well. Jack Watmore's going to be out of this one. You've got Ali McCann as well, who played a real big part in a lot of those Preston counter-attacks on Leeds United, especially breaking through the lines in midfield. And crucially as well, Brad Potts is also out for this one, the goal scorer, and Freddie Woodman, the goalkeeper. So it's going to be a real makeshift Preston side. It's going to be interesting to see how they shape up. They do have a lot of very, very similar profiles, so I don't think they're going to struggle in terms of being able to replace certain personnel, but big, physical, combative players that Preston and Heckingbottom do utilise, and it works really, really well in a low block. It might not be they might not be able to have the sort of potency and getting on that counter-attack and charging people forward when they're on that counter-attack, just because the body's out from midfield, and they've got a lot of legs in there. Brad Potts in particular, who in that Leeds game at Deepdale was just everywhere, it felt. So him and Ali McCann being out is absolutely massive. So we're just going to focus on a little bit of what I think they're going to do for this one in particular to change it up. So on our sheet here, everybody, you can see that if we just make this a little bit larger, you can see that I've gone for, I think Preston are going to go to a back five. I think they did this against Sheffield United. They're going to do this against Leeds. And I've actually brought in Jordan Storey here. Now, can play it right back. Obviously, they've got Kesler Hayden out there, formerly of Sheffield United. I think Jordan Storey being back here is much better than Ryan Porteous. If they start Porteous, I'll be more than happy because I think he's a little bit ill-disciplined. I don't think he's good with the ball at his feet. Jordan Storey here has been part of a back three at points, which this will happen. I think that's a sort of the way of which you're going to see Preston breaking out. Storey better on the ball, still very combative and physical. It's going to be a real task for Leeds' front man. And listen, better on the ball, in my opinion, than Porteous. So Storey hitting that man or just playing the ball over the top, over Solomon, and looking at Will Keane, Osmajic and Frankie Jensen here to get forward. So this is what I think is going to happen as well when it comes to Preston. I think Lindsay's going to come in here as well, which some Preston fans might not agree with, but I do think Liam Lindsay is probably a better ball player on that left-hand side. And with the likes of Ali McCann and with the likes of Brad Potts been out of that midfield, and Whitehead as well, who looks like it's another big one from midfield. Him being out, he should have been sent off at Deepdale as well, but there's 4 big bodies out there, it looks like. So I think Ledson's going to come in, but I think Liam Lindsay just gives them that assurance on, like, in possession, and he's also very physical. Played against Leeds United before, as you know, I think he's decent in possession, Liam Lindsay. So I think him and Storey are going to come in on either side of Lewis Gibson, and I think you're just going to get Lindsay have the ball down here, play it up, and try get it to this man. Now, this is the danger man. Now, if he can dribble past Nonto, if he can get up and down here, but that's not really Brady's game. I think you're going to get Kesler Hayden, Storey, Gibson just coming into a back 4. I think even in possession, and I think you're going to get Brady moving up with the ball and looking to switch it straight to Osmajic, and then I think you're going to see Jensen. I think you're going to see Keane in and around Osmajic trying to win those second balls. Really important for Leeds to get onto those second balls. So I think that's how they're going to build up, but I think a lot of the time you are going to see Brady back here as well, just looking to win fouls, looking to disrupt Willie Gnonto's play, who I think is going to come in absence of Dan James, who obviously has got the hamstring injury. But I think obviously Ledson here and Aaronson are going to be in this sort of midfield duo or pivot, but I think they're just going to rest on Storey. They're going to rest on Gibson's toes like that. So I think it is genuinely going to be a makeup of Frankie Jensen here, Keane. And the reason these two are really important as well is because they've got legs. They're athletic. They're tall lads, and they're going to have to run throughout this period, because I think Leeds, there's going to be periods of time where we're looking a little bit like this, like we always see, where Leeds are trying in build-up. And maybe you've got Gruev here and they're trying to spread the play, and you've got 2 pivots back there whilst Firpo's up here and like I said, Bogle's up here. Now they're going to look to interrupt this. And if they can do, it turns into a situation where Keane's forward, Frankie Jensen's forward, they've got legs, and can they hurt Leeds when maybe it's 3-on-3 and Tanaka's coming in to recover it? We'll have to wait and see. But they do have threats. We saw that in the first leg between both sides. Keane, as I say, is a big lad. Frankie Jensen, big lad. Osmajic, I think, is a massive problem. Scored 8 goals this season. He's been decent for Preston, probably their main outlet. And as I mentioned previously, they've got Reece on the bench, but when this guy comes off, I see just a little bit of a lesser Preston to when he's on from an attacking sense. I think he's really important. Now, this is the guy I wanted to touch on in particular, Ethan Ampadu. Good in the last game, has to be said. Good in the last game, and I was happy with his performance. I think the key thing that we need to note here when it comes to Ethan is there's been 2 sides of the coin to when he's been playing. I didn't really expect him to have a problem against Tommy Conway the other night. I think it's a very good style for Ethan Ampadu, and I thought him and Joe Rodden played really, really well the other night. This is going to be a different task. Osmajic is a bit of a problem in a different way. And this is why I always talk about this, everybody. And this is why you guys, I think, are extremely smart on this channel. You're very well aware. You give me a lot of pause for thought in the comment section below, and I really appreciate you guys doing that. But a lot of it is, in my opinion here, it's a different physical task. A real different physical task. And Osmajic, what did we see here when it came to Ethan Ampadu on the left-hand side, which I think he's going to start on, when he was up against Isidore. Isidore absolutely rolled him, got him behind here. Ampadu got sent over here. And we saw Isidore smack the ball in, just bottom end there. Okay. Past the help, the Seal Melee. Fantastic finish. Now, this is a physical battle as well. And if I am Osmajic, if I am Heckingbottom, I am saying to my lead man, who is going to be the villain of the day, by the way, like he was against Cardiff, like he's been against Burnley recently, lean on the smaller man and very, very Mitrovic style, try and bully him. And try to get Keane, try to get Frankie Jensen in and around Ampadu. And I feel physically that's our weakness right now. It used to be this guy in the net, but I think they're going to focus a little bit more on Ethan Ampadu. And yeah, I would love to see Ethan back in the midfield here. I think still the other night there were problems with Hayden Hackney in particular, but obviously Finn as posing a little bit more of a threat deeper as well. I would love to see Ethan back into that almost number 6 role, but we're not going to see that. It is going to be Gruev in there. But I just think it's absolutely vitally important that we make sure Ethan's protective. Gruev's in and around him. Rodon's in and around him as well. They're going to play with one up top. And Firpo's got to be very, very, very aware of Will Keane in and around those second balls. He kind of got to protect Ampadu here. And that's why Gruev might have to. I mean, Gruev's going to have to play anyway. But if they're getting forward, if they're looking for this long ball like Brady will do, we've got to protect Ethan Ampadu here, which we didn't do when it was Sunderland against Leeds at Ellen Road with a very similar type of striker. Not as good as Isidore, of course, but a similar type of striker, someone who's going to try bully and lean on Ethan. So that's got to be something that Gruev's got to be very aware of. Now, Leeds in build-up, we're going to see what we normally see. Okay, you're going to get Firpo over here, Bogle over here, Tanaka just in this role here, and you're going to get Elia Gruev, you're going to get Leeds splitting Osmajic here, you're going to get Keane here, and a lot of the time you're going to see this, okay? You're going to see this. So what we don't want to see is this bang, 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 bang. We need to see Leeds United actually be a little bit braver on the ball. What I've really loved is this. When he's been getting the ball and he's been marauding up here, okay? Marauding up here, which basically means that Tanaka can go a little bit forward as well. It means that you're going to have to get Aaronson coming out here and trying to get the ball off him, which means that you might be able to just pop that ball off to Aaronson in there, a little bit of space. But that risk with Joe Rodon stepping into that midfield is absolutely unequivocally important in this game, because otherwise you are not going to break this, okay? And it turns into this sort of situation. Turns into that, which we do not want. It was a problem in the first game. It's going to be a problem in this game. So Joe Rodon is really key on the ball here, breaking the line. Osmajic coming towards him. Aaronson coming in and just us getting a bit of space here. Now, you might be a little bit surprised by what I've gone with here. I think Nonso will come on the right. I think Piroe will be taken out for Bamford. And I just want to put the ball over here to this guy. Okay. What I don't want to see with Solomon is Solomon doing this all the time, okay? You can't keep getting the ball and doing this, because in a game specifically like this, Keane is going to be instructed to be there. Storage is going to stay in his position. You're going to get, obviously, Aaronson just stepping in front of Aaronson here, and Ledson's just going to cover across really, really close to his other central midfielder. It's compact. Brady's going to move over with the bunch like this whenever Solomon has the ball, and it's going to be compact, okay? So what I don't want to see is Solomon just then having to recycle the ball back here. Okay, when Gruev's a little bit further forward. I don't want to start seeing this for the full game because it's a low block. We need to start seeing, in my opinion, is Solomon with the ball here, going down the flank, taking on Kesler Hayden, and Leeds flooding that box. Okay, even Tanaka in there, Nonso in there, Leeds flooding that box, and decent delivery, and hopefully we can get a little bit of reward there. That's absolutely key. Him just going on that flank and mixing it up a little bit, not always just going on that other side, which we're very well aware of. Him coming inside there is exactly what they want. They're compact. They're in a low block. And that's what you're going to see any single time Solomon is trying to do something. We know Aaronson in tight spaces isn't good. So if the ball's popped off to Aaronson just in here, it's not going to be a good scenario. So you need Solomon to mix up his play, go down here and Leeds flood the box. This man, I think, it's not his game, in my opinion, but I hope I'm wrong. I really hope I'm wrong, but it's not his game. We've seen this game with Brendan Aaronson a lot, but I'm just hoping that he can get on the ricochet of something, and maybe Bamford actually leading that line now instead of Piroe just doing this. And Aaronson actually been the furthest man forward. Bamford leading that line. You're just hoping that Aaronson might just be able to snip a ball in there. If Bamford's having a strike on goal, there's a ricochet that can land to Brendan Aaronson. Who knows? But I'm not that excited with him in this game, I'll be honest with you. But Ledson been in there, and Aaronson as well, is really key, because obviously it's a much weaker midfield, and that might be what they go with without, Watmore, Whitehead, and all the likely lads they had in there beforehand, who obviously with McCann, etc., are injured for this one. Tanaka's going to be really important in breaking those lines. There's got to be a lot of risk. What I would love, as you guys know, there actually would be an argument for putting this guy out here and this guy in here. And you guys are going to be quite shocked by that. There is an argument, this guy out here on that left-hand side Brings me back to Crystal Palace in the Premier League, how good this guy was on the left. And, he started on the left, didn't he? And it gives him a little bit more space. Doesn't have to think that much out there. He's got a lot more space to deal with up against Kesler Hayden. And I'd love for these two to rotate a little bit more instead of it just being the same thing. Aaronson can play out there. He's a bit of a problem. He's got more space. Solomon's trickery, the ability to win free kicks in this congested space, the line breaker with Bamford just here as well. I think that would work really well. I would actually like to see, if you're going to keep Aaronson on this pitch, I would put Aaronson wide left. Not wide left, but I'd put him sort of almost inside left and Solomon in the 10. I think that would work. And I think that interchanging would be really nice and something a bit different. I think right now what you're going to see, we'll just come off this now. I think what you're going to see is Leeds being a little bit more predictable. And I can predict the lineup there outside Piroe. Heckingbottom will be able to pick that lineup as well and set up that lineup. I think Leeds would should be a little bit more unpredictable. So let me know what you think in the comment section below, everybody. Really interested to hear what your thoughts are. Make sure you're subscribing to the channel. Do you agree? Do you disagree with what I've said? Let me know. All opinions welcome. As I said, like before you leave. Check out our sponsors. Do me a solid. Links in the description below. Check out the Patreon. And we'll be back very, very soon tomorrow with the battle lines. See you in a bit.